Lone Star Gridiron is looking for interns. Over the years, we have helped dozens of students get jobs in sports media. If you want to shortcut your path to a career in sports media, click on the internship link on LoneStarGridiron.com. Cool. So let's talk about the 2025 team. Let's start with what do you have coming back this year?
Yeah, we've got some key pieces coming back. On our defensive side of the ball, most of our secondary were underclassmen, so most of them, many will be starting for a third year now, but most of them have at least started 1 year, so we'll be a very experienced defensive backfield. Our middle linebacker is a guy that played some his sophomore year and then had a phenomenal season his junior year. So coming back there, we have a defensive end, a defensive tackle, both who had great years their junior year coming back for seniors. So the defensive side has a lot of really key pieces that have a lot of reps under their belt, have played at a high level against some really good teams. So excited about those guys. Offensively, we have two linemen that played the entire year for us. We have two receivers who played every meaningful snap and did a great job all year. Another receiver who missed his entire junior year will be coming back as a senior, but he had actually was on varsity as a freshman and sophomore, so he will be a big addition back onto the offensive unit. And then two backs that both got a lot of reps throughout the season, did a great job. And then we have a quarterback who was our backup last year, and then a quarterback that's new to Allen. Those are the top two battling for that position. So kind of sprinkled in, we'll have some new faces in some very key positions, but then some really key experience coming back, especially on that defensive side of the ball.
I love that. And you mentioned the race for quarterback. There's no hidden Kyler Murrays out there, is there?
I don't know. I mean, I hope both of these become Kyler. I really do. But they're two guys that are just really, really, really good football players. They're competitive. They're great leaders. They're pushing each other every day, and it's been fun to watch them compete.
And out of what's graduated, what are some of those holes where you really need somebody to step up this year?
The quarterback position, I think that every football game you watch, I really don't care the level. I think that when it's all said and done, you probably look at which quarterback performed best and that team wins. And that's certainly more times than not. So having a new quarterback, I think you've got to start there and say, well, it's imperative that we come on at that position. Offensive line is a position, again, losing three starters. We're going to have to really, really, really come on there. We have a lot of guys that are battling and ready for that opportunity, but it's just going to be exciting to see how that learning curve takes place and how they can go in there and compete at the highest of levels. Defensively, we had another linebacker that had played for us, since I'd been here every snap. So he was a 3-year starter. Losing him will be a really tough loss. And then, it's just the overall, I guess just the growth that group of seniors. We had a phenomenal receiver who will be playing at Tulsa, but just the growth that those guys went through, and going from people, from walking the halls and of it not being the Allen in their eyes anymore, of making fun of the kids because they lost a game, or things like that, to where they battled through their own peer judgment and the community judgment to coming back and having some success, but not because, again, like that ring store, not because it was given to them, but because they earned it and they worked for it daily. So really just losing that, you just hope that they can, that each group behind that continues to know that that's the reality. That while we can live on what these people have the foundation that they've laid, that foundation is not going to go play the games. It's not going to continue to grow unless you do your part. So just hoping that continues to evolve is the biggest loss from last year's team.
Got it. Got it. And what about the district? What's the outlook for the district?
Yeah, it's a great district. I think that when you start, I think you have to start with Prosper in our district up here. They do such a great job over there. Incredibly talented and then again, really really good ball players. They've just done it right for a really long time, and they're going to be, they're one of those teams that, it doesn't matter. You could say they're playing this team and it doesn't matter who that team is. It's going to be a great game because of the way they coach the game and play the game over there. So they'll be, at the top of the food chain for sure. And then, there's a lot of change in the district. McKinney is going into year two of a coach, and they're going to continue to grow and improve vastly. And McKinney Boyd got a new coach, and Rock Hill, who did a phenomenal job last year and got into the playoffs. And Plano East was right there, and is going to be there plus quite a bit this year. And then you have the two other Planos who again continue to battle and improve, and Princeton, who does some really tough things. And talk about Prosper, and who threw for just a ton of yards against Prosper in a very exciting game. So there's a lot of really good stuff and great games every single night that you go out.
Yeah.
But again, I think that if you're looking from the outside, and us looking at them, you got to say, that Prosper's probably at the top of that chart.
Got it. Got it. All right. Now this is the lightning round. I'm going to give you two words and you just say which one connects with you the most.
Okay.
All right. Willie Nelson or George Strait?
Willie Nelson.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Hoodies or polo?
Oh, hoodie.
Bucky's or Whataburger?
Whataburger.
Ribs or brisket?
Brisket.
Queso or salsa?
Salsa.
Coach Prime or Coach Saban?
Coach Saban.
Cowboys or Texans?
Cowboys.
And Longhorns or Aggies?
Longhorns.
Nice. And which coach would you never want to coach against?
Man. Man. Huh. You know, man, never want to coach against. I don't know that there is one, because again, I go back to growing up in this profession and just, being competitive to a flaw. I mean, and that's sincere when I'm saying that I'm competitive to a flaw. Like I desperately want to win at anything that I'm doing, but I have so much respect for this profession and for coaches. And, getting to coach against the best teams or the best coach is such a dream, knowing that, yes, you may get your teeth kicked in. But what you're going to learn from the way they had their team ready and the way they fought and did all those things, I think if I had to say one, it would be somebody that's just going to go out there and not quite have their team prepared, and gonna disgrace the game in some way. But I haven't run across one of those either. So anyone I can step on that side that field with and be across from them and get to see the way they do things is a tremendous blessing. So. I would certainly, there's the list of who I would be intimidated by. That would be a lot easier to put that list together because there's a lot of those. But not wanting to coach against them, man, I don't know that there's any.
I love that. I love that. And who is the funniest coach on your staff?
Right now, probably the funniest, and it is such an awful humor. I make fun of it every day, and that's probably why he's the funniest to me. Is John Broom.
Nice. And what's his humor like?
It's old dad joke humor.
Dad jokes. I love that.
And it's the old dad jokes that the only time anyone knows that it's funny is because he laughs, and we know that when he laughs, we're supposed to laugh too.
I love that. I love that so much. Coach Wiginton, thank you so much for sitting down with me, and best of luck this season.
Man, thank you so much. Thanks again for having us and having Allen Eagle football on here, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
LoneStarGridiron.com. Access the complete history of Texas high school football, over 100 years of information, win-loss records, coaching histories, individual stats, records, and more. Lone Star Gridiron, the authority on Texas high school football.
Get ready to tee off with the legends of Texas sports. That's right, the TLSN Legends Golf Classic, a day of golf, glory, and giving back. It will be held at the Great Hills Country Club in Austin, Texas, Sunday, September 15th. Registration 11 a.m., tee time around noon, award ceremony at 6 p.m. Who's invited? Everyone. Fans, friends, alumni, business leaders, and golf lovers. If you have any interest in golf, this is the must-attend golf tournament. Whether you're swinging for birdies or just soaking up the stories, this is a can't-miss event. What can you expect? A round of golf with Texas sports legends. A premium course experience at Great Hills, awards, prizes, and exclusive photo ops. Food, drinks, unforgettable memories. The full details will be coming soon, as well as the lineup of legends who will be the captains for each team. To stay in the loop and to keep updated on player announcements, sponsor reveals, and ticket availability, go to texaslsn.org. That's texaslsn.org. The TLSN Legends Golf Classic.